Hello and welcome to our discussion on Psalm 121, a powerful message from God about His constant help and protection. This psalm is a beautiful reminder of God's faithfulness and His promise to be with us always. So let's dive into this psalm and see what it has to say about God's message of help and protection. Verse 1, 2. The psalm begins with a declaration of faith in God's help. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. This verse reminds us that God is the source of all help and that we can trust Him to provide for us. The psalmist looks up to the mountains where people used to believe their help would come from and acknowledges that his help comes from the Lord, the one who created everything. Verse 3, 4. The psalmist continues by describing the ways in which God will protect us. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, He who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. This verse assures us that God is constantly watching over us, protecting us from harm and keeping us safe. The psalmist assures us that we will not slip or fall because God is watching over us at all times. Verse 5, 6. The psalmist then describes how God will be with us on our journey through life. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. This verse reminds us that God will be with us on our journey through life, providing shade when we need it, and protection from the elements. The sun and moon cannot harm us because God is always watching over us. Verse 7, 8. The psalmist concludes by reaffirming his faith in God's protection. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. This verse reminds us that God will keep us safe from all harm and watch over our lives, no matter where we go or what we do. God's protection is eternal and will be with us both now and forever. In the end, Psalm 121 is a beautiful reminder of God's constant help and protection. It assures us that God is always watching over us and protecting us from harm. So let us put our trust in God and know that He is with us always, providing shade when we need it, protecting us from harm, and watching over our lives both now and forevermore.